Yo, mtazamaji, it's a good morning, it's a vibe. Welcome the second part of this amazing show, Monday to Thursday, 9 to 10, Friday, 8 to 10 in the AM. And this is a morning vibe. Unajua tunajienjoy pole pole kwenye Interactive, tukianguka nayo pole pole hapa. Tunaingia kidogo pale, tunapiga story, tunaongea na guest, tunaingia feedback, alafu tunaanguka nayo one leg, alafu goda. Aya, goda tena, strictly makwela, no other agenda. Sawa, najua watu wametuma feedback from Mombasa, from Nigeria, Norway, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Na feedback ziko crazy. Now, before tuende kwa interview na our guest, let's see some feedback on WhatsApp. Someone is saying, good morning, hello Tony. Good morning, ni Rita from Machakos, show iko lit, but kabaridi imeamua leo. Niambie nikae kwa tent gani, niko single, baridi inanimaliza walai. Anyway, mko smart tu sana. Okay, Machakos, sio mbaya Machakos, but tutakuja hapo baadaye. But kaa kwa tent ambayo iko na moto na uenjoy, si ndio? Haya, tuende kazi Sarah.
Good morning Sarah and Tony, ni kijana wenu from Vihiga. You guys always make my day, nawapenda sana. Tony, did you know strength is the longest word in English language with one vowel? Okay, it contains 9 letters, 8 of them being constants. I thought you should know.
Ina sijawahi sikia, but ni sawa tu.
Unakumbuka?
Vowels. Vowel ni A, E, I, O, U. Alafu letters ndio A to Z. Ateme amesema hiyo nao nitaipitia baadaye. Imenipita.
Sawa, nitakufunza tu.
Someone is saying morning Interactive, the show is lit. Gen Z for the people and the people for Gen Z. Sarah, Tony ni mzakayo sana. Cheki mimi tafadhali nataka munielewe mimi.
But Tony, hata guest wetu Evelyn amesema hujakasirishwa na hiyo story kabla sisi kunje tumekasirika.
Nimekasirika, lakini kuna something nilifunzwa class inaitwa anger control. Anger management.
No.
Ningekasirika hapa.
Inayo ina hata uko umeenda class inakaaje. This is beyond.
Okay, nitakasirika kesho. Kesho I promise nitakasirika asubuhi.
Cheki, tutakuweka ile side pia tutakusalimia side.
Hapana, msinisalimie. Msinisalimie tafadhali. Mimi niko sawa kabisa. Sanitize.
Aya. Oh, well done Regut. Welcome back. Well done Regut Saddam na wakilisha Litain Massive. Good morning Sarah na Tony. I'm watching you live show kama kawaida, iko juu tu sana. Usiguze hiyo mita, na msalimia mafans wote wale wanatizama kwenye runinga ya K24 kwenye hii show. Hakuna
brrrcha. Yes, huyu ni mtu wa reggae by the way. Ni mtu wa reggae
lakini Regut has also been one of our die-hard fans for the longest time.
Yes.
It's good to see him back.
Someone is saying, Sarah, Tony, I'm Landry watching you live from Asaku. Kindly wish for me this amazing lady a happy birthday. Let her know she's the most caring and loving person I have ever met, and I feel so lucky to have her. Happy birthday Jane. Oh yeah, it's the anniversary pia. Oh jamani. Mapenzi matamu bwana. Jamani.
Tony can't relate.
Ukipendwa pendeka.
Pendeka.
Na ukipenda penda. Na ukiachwa achika.
Wewe umefanya ipi?
Mimi niliachwa juzi.
Na ukaachika.
Nikaachika roho safi, but Wednesday next week I'm officially launching my new girlfriend. Okay,
we shall be here waiting to see. Polly Young from Kisii show iko lit hadi mwisho. Wacha tuone Polly Young.
Ni ule crush wa Sarah, ndio ni ule crush wako.
Unajua niko na wengi, so I don't keep tabs.
From Marisabit to Ebuye. Good morning my people, it's Boni Kailan from Kericho. Watu wa Kericho wameingia ndani. Thank you so much for watching from Kericho. Nice. Good morning Sarah and Tony. Tony, come tuanguke nayo. AC from Nanyuki.
Hebu tuone AC.
Hebu zoom hiyo picha.
Anafaa ku-click ndani. Click ndani.
Click ndani hiyo picha.
Click. Nini kasa?
Bruno,
click hiyo picha.
Click inaweza. Click. Click.
Bruno, unatuangusha.
Ni sawa tu. Anyway, najua
enemies of progress.
Yeah, hawataki nisonge.
Nikasambuli huyo.
Naweza change before Wednesday niyo imechange. But it's fine.
You know what, Tony?
Yeah.
As you continue with your search, watu waendelee kutuma wale magaldemo wanataka kuhit on Tony, and also you can tell us what you think about the stories that we just talked about. We shall be sampling more of your feedback.
Umesahau kuuliza story yangu na Larry Madogo kama tunafanana.
Si niliuliza Tony.
Mbona ukumbushi sahi?
Sawa, pia tuambieni if Tony and Larry Madogo look alike, because sibi nilisema sioni.
Tutauliza
our guest. All right, and talking of our guest, today we shall be talking to Evelyn Mwandi, who's the Executive Director, Start a Library Trust. Evelyn, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Tony, wanafuana na Larry?
Marefu peke yake.
Lakini tuko almost katika 1 mpaka 10. Mimi nakufanana na Larry ni kama asilimia ngapi?
Hauna English. Ebu thank you.
Guy. Tony, ningetoka kwa set.
Can someone kindly unmic me? Kindly. I want to go because
unaweza kimbiza polisi kwa streets wakinini? Wakirusha tia
I've been doing that for a long time in my whole life.
Kama Larry, tunasema kama Larry.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, hata after show utaona. Unaweza kuwa polisi mimi ukimbiza.
Nice one, I see what you But kabla tumalize show, let's talk about the reading culture in Kenya. So Evelyn, you're the executive director. If you can just tell us briefly how you started this particular organization that you're heading.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony and Sarah. Glad to be here. My name is Evelyn. I'm the executive director at Starter Library Trust, and we are in a mission to enhance access to reading materials, especially for children in public primary schools who do not have the privilege to read for pleasure, not for exams. Those of us who went to 844, we are so into passing exams. But for children in public primary schools, generally, they do not have the luxury to read, to expand their mind, to travel the world, to learn at their pace. There's a lot of drive in terms of passing exams. So this initiative, or Starter Library, is out there to improve the foundational literacy skills for children, and especially reaching out to the marginalized. I heard someone here comes from Marsabit. Is that child, not Tony from, I'm not saying group of schools are bad, but not Tony from group of schools. But just to empower those children so that they can, first, they can communicate very well, because communication skills are very important in our careers. They are creative, critical thinking, decision making, which really require a lot of literacy skills. So we're in that mission, and I have a first experience of the same that I went to a school in Bundus, not mentioning counties where we come from, but generally it took me a longer time. I grew up as a very naive child where I couldn't speak because I grew up speaking mother tongue. And with that, then by the time I was getting into university or just in high school, then there was the Nairobi team and me, you know, and so they could express themselves. They were courageous, they were confident. Evelyn was naive. And so getting to the University of Nairobi, the only thing that I could do was to hide myself in the library. First, I was not hiding there so that I can read. I was hiding there because I can't speak. And you know, we are in the university now. So I realized that by getting a book and reading, then first I improved how I communicated, but at the same time is also that I improved my confidence and I could speak in front of people. So then that gradually told me the importance of having libraries in schools. So Starter Library is out there to start libraries in public primary schools, really marginalized and underserved schools, so that children have access to the power to read and the power to express themselves.
Tony, that's very interesting.
Kabisa, and nimependa a well-detailed explanation. Kizungu meza kuja ndani madogo. Aya, unajua katika upande wa reading culture na kusoma hainanga certain age bracket. Anyone yuko sawa katika upande wa reading culture. I have two things to ask. First, how was the reception of everything that you have been doing? And second, right now as a country tunafesiwa na mambo ya mental health na kila kitu. Do you think, does it help if someone can introduce that culture ya kusoma? Inasaidia place yoyote?
Good. Yes. I will start with
how's the reception?
How the reception is, and I would say very interesting. Teachers really know the importance of reading. Teachers really know that, and so anytime you talk about reading culture, teachers will say, "I want a library." But we have a perception that libraries are buildings. Huge buildings full of books. And for us as Starter Library, we demystify that by saying libraries is a collection of reading materials. And it's storybooks, not textbooks, because again, we have been structured that libraries is books. It's those big books that they are put in the shelves. So then that's the reception. We get a lot of, because we deal with schools, then we get a very good reception with the teachers, and the children themselves really want the books. In terms of mental health, I would say books really play a very big part in terms of just even opening up their minds. And we are very deliberate in terms of the books that we put in the libraries. They are not just teaching the language, they are also teaching life skills. So we are very specific. If we are doing a library, for example, at Sarah's place, then we look at the issues around the community, the social issues in the within the community, and then we take books that really relate to that area. Then that child, the book really speaks to them about FGM, speaks about relationships. So then children are able to know how to come out of such situations from the books that they read.
Do you guys have that book on how to maintain a long-term relationship?
No, Tony, but let us discuss it. Remember, we deal with children. Tony.
Okay.
For you, we shall
talk about you.
I'm a good child.
Okay. You're still children.
You're still children.
But not, Evelyn, I'm really loving that. It's just not because even for us growing up, the main focus has been, you know what, you read books for you to pass exams.
Yes.
But for you is to even tackle the things that are going in the society, like early marriages, FGM.
Exactly.
That's very, very interesting.
Exactly.
For you, and what I'm loving, or what I've heard from you, is the fact that you started this initiative from your own experience.
Yes.
Looking at the African parents, for the longest time, enda ukachukue kuni, enda ukateke maji. You've told us the reception when it comes to the teachers and the students themselves has been positive. But what of the parents? Are they embracing it more, especially considering that you're not just giving them the materials for them to pass their exams, but also to improve their life generally? How has it been?
I would say 50-50.
Okay.
And just because parents have competing priorities. Is that I buy a book or do I buy food? So they have really competing priorities. And that I really appreciate that, you know, I appreciate that. But I would say also that we have received a lot of good reception from where we have started libraries. We got 299 libraries across the country.
Wow.
And there are places that we have gone, and the library is within the school, but we also see parents coming to pick a book and read. And I have a story from the Coast region where we have this library in a school, and then the parents themselves, because they work around the beach areas, and they said, we also want to learn the English language, for example, so that they can be able to speak fluently with the tourists, especially those who are taking advantage of them. So that's a very powerful story that we have from the Coast region, that they have come to the library, started reading books slowly by slowly. They have mastered the language, and now they can be able to speak to the tourists when they come. But yeah, so as I said, we have competing priorities, but also we get reception. And one of the things that we are doing now with the CBC involvement, where we are talking about parental involvement, is that now we are involving the parents from the beginning, before even the library comes to the school, is that the parents are aware. We do a sensitization with them that the importance of having a library in their community.
You mentioned you have almost 299 libraries across the nation.
Yes.
For how long have you been doing this?
We've been doing this for the last 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
10 good years.
Yes.
That means, Tony, before you ask that, that means kuna yule mtoto mwenye alikuwa maybe class 5 when you were starting this project.
Yes.
Does that reading culture also, do they carry it to their adulthood life? Do you have such stories of someone who tells you, you know what, I started my reading culture when you guys introduced me, and I still do that till now? We
have many of those ones who actually, one of our alumni, let me call them alumni, is that they have come back and say they want to do campaigns for us to get more funding in terms of getting more libraries, because it has really helped them, and they can see it in their lives. So we get such a lot, and even the teachers themselves, how they have improved in terms of their teaching skills.
Wow.
All right. 10 years kwenye game, you know, everything, ukianzisha tabia kwa mfano, kila siku asubuhi naamka gym, naelekea gym asubuhi from 6 to 10. You have that culture ambayo umeanzisha ya kwenda gym, lazima ukuwe na consistency. But now, kuna stuff ambazo inabidi ufanye, like putting an alarm na kila kitu, ndio ile isikosekane consistency. How is it on your side?
Yeah, so we work with different partners who support this process. One of the things that I really want to put out there is that a nation or as a region, we don't really place libraries as a core thing that we need to do. We really prioritize on health and all the other things. Even in education itself, we'll just talk about textbooks and all that. So we're in a space that is not common with everybody, and we really appreciate that. But we are also trying to work with different partners, including local people and corporates and philanthropists, to ensure that we have the libraries. But we also understand that this is not sustainable. And so it's now involving everybody and bringing everybody on board to speak about libraries, and not just libraries for exams. Again, I keep saying that, is that it's a culture that we want to instill in our children. And so in terms of sustainability is involving everybody, but also really pushing the government so that they can adopt this, because the government themselves in the syllabus, they talk about a library lesson or a maktaba lesson, but they don't have the facilities. So teachers end up doing remedial classes during that time. Therefore now is working at really coming up with policies and doing advocacy campaign that the government themselves also invest in this process.
You know what, I'm glad you mentioned about the government, because I wanted to know, in the span of the 10 years that you have been doing this, have you had a chance of approaching the Ministry of Education and maybe partnering with them to ensure that we build or we have more libraries across the country? Yes,
we have had conversations with them, and I think it's step by step. Again, I also want to appreciate that government has a lot of priorities and many things that are happening, including Gen Z, Tony, Mandamanos, and everything else. I really appreciate that. But we have had conversations with them again, and I think it's step by step. We are getting into a space where this conversation, especially that even in Kenya, we didn't have a library policy to guide just generally how libraries needs to operate. But there's a lot of steps. We have a draft policy that requires needs to go to the parliament, and so there are a lot of conversations around that. And just that the government have said there is a library and a maktaba lesson, and also they have now included a reading and a kusoma lesson in the curriculum. Then that means there is need for libraries. They are in that process. But again, I think it's for us as civil societies to come and push them a little bit so that now they actualize this.
Kabisa. Sara, mimi kwa maisha yangu wanasema kwamba whatever sikupata in my life, mtoto wangu atapata. Kuna some culture kama hizi mimi sikuipitia kabisa. Sikuipata time mpaka lesson ya kusoma kwa class yangu. But I believe one day nikishapata mtoto wangu, everything ambayo sikupata atapata. Si ndio? Feedback ziko crazy sana, watu wanauza maswali mengi sana. Feedback ziko crazy from maeneo mbalimbali nchini Kenya. But now before tumalize interview, you are 10 years, something ambayo ime stand out ambayo mtajivunia mpaka sasa ni gani? That one thing.
Just one thing. And I want to say that one thing that we are very proud of ourselves, and we keep doing this every year, is that is pushing the government more to bring in, to embrace the libraries in the schools. And so every year we have been very consistent in running an advocacy campaign called the National Read Aloud. And it's going to happen this Friday. I hope you guys are going to stop.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, sure. So that's one of the things that we are very proud about, and we are seeing a lot of conversations happening around the reading culture in the country, and just because we want everybody to be part of it. But again, because Sarah is going to talk about that a little bit, is also that where we have seen the impact of children really embracing reading, and where we have seen everybody, especially children who are able differently, also coming on board and saying, you know, we need also content that also aligns to our you know, maybe braille or things like that, or audio. So we get into libraries that are just beyond the ordinary bookshelves, but also get into digital aspects of it, and including everybody, leaving no learner behind, in this process.
You know what, Tony, I am loving this, because as you were saying, there are those children who are less privileged, those that come from marginalized place, and there are those children who are abled differently. Because you see, for the longest time, people will focus on the people who are marginalized, but you guys have gone a step ahead and are also including the people, the children who are abled differently.
Yes.
I must say that's a good job you're doing.
Makofi,
That's a
makofi,
great job.
Makofi mengine mazuri jamani. Makofi. Twende 3 2 1. Tena. Funga. Fungua.
Wewe ulikuwa wakati wa moyo.
Lakini sasa unataka kuita millennial?
Tony ulikuwa kwa age group gani?
Sasa nisikia wengine wanaita si baby boomer, wengine Gen Z, wengine millennial. Sasa but najua mimi niko hapa kwa Gen Z, lakini wananiambia tabia ni za millennial.
Gen Z attached.
Ati ananiambia mimi Gen Z lakini tabia ni millennial.
Si ni ukweli?
But sipendi. Wewe ukiangalia hivi, niko wapi?
Kwa hapo Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Kaa hapo.
Lakini tabia ni za millennial.
Ako na tabia zingine.
Tulia. Lakini before tuende mbali sana, I think before the interview we can just tackle some few feedback on WhatsApp to check wanasemaje on WhatsApp, tusikie wanasemaje on WhatsApp. Let's see, our director, someone is saying hello morning Tony and Sarah. It's Vicky from Malindi enjoying the show with my mom. Keep it up. All right, someone that's amazing. And watch the
Malindi kuna baridi hivyo.
Yeah. Someone is
Hi
saying,
Sarah and Tony, I'm Jackie from Rongai. Na show iko lit tu sana. Hey, watu wa Rongai.
Watu wa Rongai, watu wa Simba, watu wa Diamond. Then you have someone, hey, I'm watching live at Nakuru. I'm single.
Watu wamefanya hii show ikuwe dating show.
Sasa Sarah,
tutaanzisha dating show, tutaenda kuongea na Eddie, si ndio?
Sasa huyu mbona anaka hii emoji? Ati good morning Sarah and Tony, you look good. Hapo emoji ni hivi. Okay, so sijui maanisha nini lakini okay,
we look good together. Okay, I didn't sikuwa nimepata hiyo.
Ametuona kwa long shot ama kwa single?
Very important by the way. Swala nyeti hapo.
Swala nyeti, si ndio? All right, we achana naye.
Wewe umesema tuna occupy CBD.
Kim kutoka Nakuru, mwana Gen Z live show iko lit. Thank you so much for watching from Nakuru. We appreciate your love and support. Nani mwingine in the morning anasema kwamba hello Tony and Sarah, new here for some Mosheneka Kakamega County well represented.
Kasabuli, how do you say hi in Luya? Mulembe.
Mulembe Khandi.
Mulembe Khandi.
Mulembe Khandi.
Welcome to Interactive.
What's up Sarah, Interactive gang, ni Mato from Isili. Show iko
very lit despite baridi na celibacy WCW to my mom.
Long time fan. Okay.
All right. What way is
Hi Tony and Sarah, Devi from Mombasa. Show iko logged. Wacha tuone. Lakini Mombasa.
Manze Tony. Ulienda coast ukaniacha.
Usijali, tunaenda tena Julai mwisho.
Hey, watu wetu wa Mombasani wana represent. Good morning. It's Huda Mo watching from Mombasa. The show is awesome.
Na amepiga kanzu yake pale amazing.
Swafi. Mashallah, looking great.
Mambo iko fiti, si ndio? Sasa before tumalize, kila kitu ambacho watu wanakifanya katika maisha kuna pande mbili, pande nzuri na pande mbaya. But if I can pose this question to you, the biggest challenge imekuwa gani?
Our biggest challenge, I would say, is funding. We got over 30,000 public primary schools in the country. To doing 299 is just a drop in the ocean.
That is 47 counties combination?
Yes.
30,000 schools?
Yeah, public primary schools.
Oh, public?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So 299 is just a drop.
Yes.
So as I say, we ask schools to apply or to submit their applications if they want a library. And as I speak today, we got more than 6,000 applications for this year alone.
Wow.
And we are just in the mid of the year. So that shows how
the
need is there.
Yes.
And yeah, so all that, but every day we appreciate the steps that we are taking.
Amazing.
And I love that because this is just the first step towards attaining more libraries.
Yes.
At least you have started somewhere. So
Yeah.
there is the National Read Aloud that will be happening this Friday on 12th. Is it something that has been there, and you can tell us more about it?
Yeah, so the National Read Aloud is one of our advocacy campaign, and as I mentioned that we really need to join hands and talk about the reading culture here. So the National Read Aloud was born 8 years ago, and it was born from one of our old saying that goes, if you want to hide anything, Tony, if you want to hide anything in an African, from an African, what does it say? that saying, if you want to hide anything from an African, put
it
in a book. Yeah, so there's that
because
saying,
they will not read.
Because they will not read.
Yes.
So that is where the National Read Aloud was born from, that saying that if we want to demystify that, if you put anything in the book, the Kenyan children will read, the African child will read.
Oh, yeah.
And so the National Read Aloud is whereby we engage, it's the largest gathering of Kenyan children, African children, reading from one text at the same time from multiple locations. And that's, we have done this from the last 8 years. And this year, or last year, the president announced a National Reading Day, that the country should stop and we all read, and announced that that will be on 12th of July.
And not just reading SMS, it's just reading
books.
Yeah,
we are reading books.
Yeah, exactly.
So on 12th of July, we are celebrating the inaugural National Reading Day.
Wow.
And as Tata Library, we are going to celebrate this by having the National Read Aloud, where we are going to be reading for climate change. So we have selected an excerpt from a book, an SDG 2 book, called Kijiji cha Ukame. And we are going to involve, currently we have 460,000 learners across 2,000 schools across the country.
Yeah.
We got 46 counties where we are going to be having this. Yeah. The National Read Aloud is going to happen in the schools during the assembly, 8:30 to 9 in the morning, and all children are going to be reading from the same place in a chorus way.
Wow.
And for this, as I've said, this year we are going to be championing for climate action, because all of us have been talking about the importance of climate action, and the reason why the children themselves, as the change makers, as the future generation, should be involved in conversations around climate change.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. I have learnt a lot, and hopefully our viewers have also learnt a lot. And it's never too late. As they say, you never stop learning.
Yes.
Yes. So Tony, keep on reading books. At least wewe ukuniangsha. You told me the last time was on Sunday.
When I was going from Mombasa to Nairobi via SGR, nilikuwa na kitabu, nilikuwa nasoma pole pole. So and on Friday this week, it is the 12th of July. It is a national reading. It is the first one.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Evelyn, for coming through, and also thank you to our viewers for watching the show today. See you tomorrow bright and early for another amazing episode of Interactive. Have yourselves a fantastic day ahead. Tunasema nini, Tony?
Adios.